Most people think underwater welding is just regular welding but wet. It is not. It is one of the most dangerous, skilled trades on the planet. The fatality rate runs 40 times higher than the average American worker. Divers have died in 19 feet of water. They have died in 400-foot saturation systems in the North Sea. They have died because a company skipped a fitness check or because a DP system failed at the worst possible second. And yet, every year, young people from garages and fab shops wire $14,800 to a dive school in Jacksonville and start the climb. This is every level of an underwater welder's career in America, what it costs to get there, and what it costs to stay. If you want more career breakdowns like this one, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Level 1. The garage and the pool. You are 16. There is a Lincoln Tombstone welder on a rolling cart in your grandfather's shop. He paid $578 for it at Home Depot.
The dial is set to 90 amps. You have watched enough YouTube to know what a good bead is supposed to sound like, and you have watched enough bad ones to know you have never made one. You clamp the ground to the cleanest piece of scrap you can find. You drop the hood. You strike the rod and the arc catches, and the rod sticks and you yank your wrist and try again. The bead comes out looking like a worm that lost a fight. Your grandfather walks over, looks at it for 3 seconds and tells you to drop the amps to 70. The next bead is straighter. He nods once and goes back to his coffee. You lose track of time in that shop. You stop looking at your phone. 3 weekends in, your parents take you to Key Largo, and you spend $400 of lawn mowing money on a PADI open water course. You flood your mask in the hotel pool, and you clear it. You recover the regulator. On your 3rd ocean dive, a reef shark passes underneath the boat at about 15 feet, and you grin around the mouthpiece instead of kicking for the surface. The dive master signs your logbook on the dock. The card shows up in the mail 8 weeks later, and you put it behind your learner's permit. The chlorine and sunscreen smell of that pool deck stays with you longer than anything else from the trip. Level 2. The Fab Shop. You are 18. The welding shop foreman starts you at $16 an hour grinding bevels on 1/4-inch plate. You sweep a floor worth more than every house on your street. You fetch coffee in the morning and ship slag in the afternoon. The locker room smells like a wet Carhartt jacket that is never fully dried. The foreman shows you the sequence on a butt joint. You mark the plate with soapstone. You flap disc the mill scale until the steel is clean. You grind a 30-degree bevel on both edges. You set the root gap with a nickel laid flat. You tack at 12, 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. You run a 70-18 root with a tight arc. You chip. You hot pass. The cap comes out clean. The foreman runs his thumb along it and says one word: clean. You put that word in your pocket and don't tell anyone about it. Your Friday check clears for $640 after taxes. You cash it at the credit union and put $400 in an envelope marked Dive School. The customer pays the shop $94 an hour for the booth you are standing in. You make $16. One afternoon, the foreman pulls you aside at the bay door. He tells you the only way out of this room is a 5-month program in Jacksonville. He tells you the women you will meet at 26 will not wait for you to figure it out. You stop saving pay stubs. You start adding them up. Level 3. Commercial Dive School. You are 19. You wire $14,800 to CDA Technical Institute in Jacksonville and sign for the rest. 20 weeks, 9-hour days in a yard that smells like sulfur and diesel. On the first morning, an instructor named Matthew Thomas, a former life support tech off a Chet Morrison boat, walks the class to a 30-foot tank and points at a row of Kirby Morgan helmets on the shelf. He says he is here to teach you the skills to get a job done underwater. Then he tells you to dress in. Hat Up has 10 steps. You will do them 400 times before he signs you off. Comms check. Neck dam over the head, helmet onto the neck ring, latch the jockeying strap, lock the clamp, gas on, breathe, defog, thumbs up to the tender, step off the stage and call leaving surface. In your first chamber blowdown, the class goes to 165 feet of pressure in a dry pot. Your ears lock at 60 feet. You vow salva. You swallow, you wiggle your jaw, and at the last second, the left one pops. You say nothing. You ride it down. In week 9, you light a Broco underwater cutting torch for the first time, and the burn smell punches through the helmet exhaust like nothing you have ever breathed. In week 14, you weld a Class B coupon with waterproofed rod, and the AWS D3.6M codebook grader passes you on the first try. Of the 27 students who started with you, 22 are still standing at graduation. The school placed 90% of graduates into industry the year before. Your ADCI entry-level tender diver card costs $75. You staple a copy to your resume.
You drive home with dirty boots and a cardboard box and a certificate your mother frames and hangs over the dryer. The romance of the trade is gone. The trade is real. You do not argue with the foreman anymore, not because he is right, but because arguing is a tell. Level 4, the tender. You are 20. A Louisiana inshore outfit hires you as a tender for $21.71 an hour. On day 1, you wash a Kirby Morgan's Superlight in a 5-gallon bucket of dish soap and fresh water until the inside of the neck dam stops smelling like another man's sweat. You spool 300 feet of umbilical by hand. You run the comms console with a Bullard headset and learn by week 3 what every line on the umbilical does without looking. Gas, comms, pneumo, hot water, strength member. You stand on a barge deck for 14 hours and do not get wet. Diesel exhaust off the deck jenny lives in your beard. Every shackle on the boat is rust red. Your first working dive comes at 6 months. A pile wrap on a clarifier in Homa. The supervisor points at you and says you're up, and the rest of the deck pretends not to watch. Visibility is 0. You wire brush a 4-foot band of marine growth by feel. You measure the circumference with paracord. You set the FRP jacket. You ratchet the band straps. The grout injects clean. You exit with the umbilical squared and the comms calm. The supervisor logs it. You don't say anything, and he pretends not to notice that either. 2 weeks later, you read about a 47-year-old diver who went unresponsive in 19 feet of water at the William B. Umstead Bridge on his first day at a new company. OSHA cites 4 serious violations. The Raleigh director says ensuring employees are physically fit for commercial diving is a fundamental part of workplace safety. You read it on your phone in the bunk room and put the phone face down on the mattress. You do not call your mother back that night. You apply for your ADCI air diver card the next morning. $175, a clean logbook, and a supervisor's signature gets you the upgrade.
Level 5, the Offshore Diver. You are 25. A Gulf outfit crew changes you onto a dive support vessel out of Fortune for a 28-day hitch. You sleep 2 to a cabin. You eat 4 meals a day. The first dive of the trip is 180 feet to a wellhead to swap a sacrificial anode on a Kirby Morgan helmet the company owns. You own your harness, your knife, and your reputation. You learn fast that wet welding is about 10% of what an underwater welder actually does. The other 90% is brushing, bolting, anode swaps, flange torquing, hot tapping, and marking inspection points for the NDT tack on the surface. The work happens by feel in 1-foot visibility, and saving gas is the only thing that keeps you inside the supervisor's plan. On day 11, you run a Class B wet stick weld on a pipeline patch. You needle gun the marine growth, you set polarity, you tack the patch in 4 places, you strike the root pass with hydro weld rod. You chip, you cap, you wire brush, you flag the mag particle inspection point. The supervisor sends 1 word through the helmet speaker. Good. The day rate works out to roughly $400 plus $2 a foot in depth pay. Call it $580 for the shift. You watch your bank account climb faster than you can spend it. The BLS Occupational Employment Survey for May 2023 lists 2,790 commercial divers in the country at a mean wage of $75,570. You are already clearing $90,000 on a slow year. 3 hitches in, the company asks if you want SAT school. The room you said yes in had a coffee maker that didn't work and a calendar 2 months out of date. You missed Thanksgiving for the 3rd year running. Your sister sent a photo of the table. You put it on the cabin wall. You stopped flinching at the hot sticks somewhere in the 7th month of that year. Level 6, the saturation diver. You are 28. Subsea 7 puts you on a twin-bell saturation system with a 350-meter design depth, 24 divers locked in steel. You blow down on heliox to 400 feet of storage pressure on day 1, and you live there for 28 days. The voice that comes out of your mouth is Donald Duck. Nobody understands you without an unscrambler. The air in the system smells like sweet plastic and helium. The gas reclaim runs a white noise hum you stop hearing by day 4. You sleep in a bunk with a TV bolted to the bulkhead. You eat through a medical lock. You climb into the bell at 0600 with 2 other divers. You lock off. The bell rides down to working depth. The bellman opens the bottom hatch. You lock out. You bolt a subsea manifold for 6 hours. You torque flange bolts to spec. You fit a tie-in spool. The hot water suit feeds warmth through hoses pinned against your skin. You lock back in. You shower in the trunk. You eat. You sleep. You repeat. The American SAT diver average runs $12,329 a year, according to ZipRecruiter in May 2026. In the North Sea, the union schedule for 2026 pays a professional diver in saturation $2,710 a day. You cash the wire. On day 21 of the trip, you are in the bell on a routine run and you think about a story from school. North Sea, September 2012. A saturation diver's umbilical severed at 330 feet after the vessel's dynamic positioning system failed. He survived 33 minutes on a 5-minute bailout because 2 colleagues got the bell back over him in time. You finish the bolt up. You lock in. The decompression at the end of a SAT trip runs 6 days of stops. There is no emergency exit. On day 26, the squawk box in the chamber tells you your uncle died in Mississippi. You finish deco. The keys to your truck earn an envelope at the topside office. When you step off the bell pad and walk to the parking lot, the truck starts on the first turn. The tombstone is still in the garage. Your grandfather died 2 years ago, and your father didn't have the heart to sell it. It sits under a tarp on the same rolling cart with the same dial set to 70 amps. You drive home to Pensacola the morning after a 28-day SAT trip and sleep for 36 hours. On the 3rd day, you walk into the garage and pull the tarp off. You strike an arc on a piece of scrap angle iron. The bead is clean. The bacon sizzle is the exact same sound it was when you were 16. You chip the slag with the same Harbor Freight hammer. You think about your cousin who went to college and what he made last year, and you stop the thought before it finishes. That is not the comparison anymore. An 18-year-old from your high school texts you about dive school. He wants to know if it is worth the $18,400. You write back one sentence: show up, don't quit, don't lie on the logbook. The trade gave you a knee that clicks in cold weather and a Thanksgiving you will never get back. You accepted that the morning you signed your second SAT contract. You walk back into the house. The tombstone is yours now. The keys to the truck are on the hook by the door, and they are yours.